With interest rates rising on mortgages, the question I've been recently asking myself is, does it make sense to overpay a mortgage or to continue investing every month into index funds? Always remember, personal finance is personal. This video is my own thoughts on how I handle my own finances and should not be considered financial advice. Always do your own research or consult a professional. Don't just follow what some random bloke on the internet says. With that said, let's take a quick look at my thoughts on which one makes sense. Emotions versus rational thinking. There are two factors when it comes to deciding what to do with a mortgage. The rational decision, basically which option will make best financial sense over the long run, and the emotional decision, how it makes you feel, and whether the sleep at night factor, knowing that the bank can't suddenly come and kick you out of your house, is worth the potential lower net worth in the future. I've never heard of someone who paid off their mortgage and regretted it. Always worth bearing that in mind. The rational option. The decision of keeping your mortgage and investing instead comes down to risk versus reward. By doing this, the hope is that you can make a better return through investing than the cost of borrowing the money from the bank for the mortgage. When interest rates on a mortgage were say 2%, it almost seemed ludicrous to me to consider paying it down instead of investing. Investing gives you an option. If you overpay your mortgage and then you need the money back, it may be trickier to get the money out. There are some different options available, but you may need to refinance, for example, to release the equity again. Investing instead of overpaying gives you an option or flexibility. Even with rates at 5% or so, I prefer the safety of having a bigger investment pot instead of overpaying extra on the mortgage. Many would say that approach is not the safe one, but that's probably just a matter of perspective and risk tolerance, I guess. At the end of the day, there's nothing to stop me using my investment pot to meet extra payments on the mortgage if I needed to, or at some point in the future selling a chunk of the portfolio and clearing the mortgage off in full, etc. So what am I doing personally? Currently, I have no plans on changing my approach, investing in pensions and ISAs and making the regular payment on my mortgage. I don't think I'd ever consider stopping investing altogether to pay down the mortgage, but I may find a middle ground and do a bit of all three, start overpaying the mortgage or reduce the mortgage term and reduce ISA contributions but keep the pension contributions, for example. But this is probably unlikely. I suspect I'd be more likely to either sell down some of the portfolio at some point and clear the mortgage, or just keep a mortgage for the long term and factor that into my fine number as an expense that the portfolio needs to cover. At the end of the day, as with most things, I'm indifferent. As long as you are paying down debt or investing for your future, you are moving in the right direction. Not everything in life has to be optimal.